And we see now, coming back to Sun Yat-sen, we see this final photograph, Hugo, of Sun Yat-sen's signature.
Yes.
There it is, in his own.
That's right. I don't know, it's in one of the filing cabinets. I came across that the other day. Now, is that his Chinese signature there?
Mm-hmm. Now, it's, by the way, I should mention to everyone that Hugh laboriously went through 5 cabinets of correspondence and archives to try and dig out these photographs and documents for us. So we're very, very grateful indeed, Hugh. And Hugo, could we have a look at the photograph that I sent you yesterday of the Cantlies, the very end? Yes, that's the one. And that's your grandfather.
My grandfather, my grandmother.
And your grandmother.
And uniforms as St. John's Ambulance Brigade, I think, at the time.
Right.
Both of them played a very active role in the First War. On the St. John's Ambulance, Red Cross, my grandfather's gave lectures on first aid to a whole lot of people, including my mother in those days, who didn't know she was going to be a Cantlie later on.
There we are. Yes. Now, tell us about this photograph.
My father was one of the first people to return to China on a business basis to represent some British firms. And he returned quite often in those days, in the early 50s. And in this particular one, and at that meeting, the Premier said, do we let Suarez and, my memory's gone, the Jardine Matheson back to trade with China? And my father said, well, they will certainly open up trading links if you let them come in. And the Premier then said, well, they will not be allowed to make so much profit in future. And that was certainly confirmed when I talked to somebody from Suarez. As you know, we used to make 30%. Now we luckily make 3%.
But there's also another photograph. Tell us about this one.
Well, that again was on one of his business trips to China at the time, where they felt they could talk, you know, you might say, and not worry about political aspects. So that's the Hall of the Great, where he was giving a talk to celebrate the 90 years.
And Hugh, you yourself were born in Shanghai, I believe. Is that right?
Yes, I was born in 1932 in the country hospital during a Japanese air raid, apparently.
And where is this photograph taken? Is it actually at your home?
This was in Dafanshang Road, off Bubbling Wells Road. I spent the first few years of my life. And then we moved to Nanjing, to the Ministry of Railways, because my father, those days, was the technical advisor to the Ministry of Railways. And my future godfather, Sun Fu, Sun Yat-sen's son. And so we lived in Nanjing until the Japanese army arrived, or until just before the Japanese army arrived with 1 day to spare.